Hey flower people, welcome back. On today's video, we're going to work on another flower type. We've already worked on the bulb type and the petal type, and now we're going to work on the delicates. Some of the flowers I want to work on today, take you back a little bit. We have some hydrangeas. I'm actually excited about working on this particular one. I've never done purple before, and also have a lily. And the greenery is really important too. They're very simple and very easy to do because they have very little moisture in them, so they dry really quick. And they dry nice, and it just makes a better presentation in your floral album. We have a little surprise here today, and you know how your life gets in the way. You might be away and have had an occasion where you've had flowers, and you might come home to this, like I did this weekend when I left for the weekend, and I should have dried them. So I thought, I know I can help you save those. Don't think you have to throw them away, they're not dead. So with that, let's get started. You know the drill, it's the same thing. We'll do a little review on the kit. We have our Perserving spray, we have our string that helps bind up the flowers within our Perserving boards and our quick dry paper. And I have the clips there for anybody who has a hard time holding on to them when you're trying to wrap them up. We do horizontal and vertically. I don't have to use them all the time because I've done it so many times. Our quick dry paper, and then here we go with our Perserving boards. And we always talked about earlier that you have your logo and your logo, and they match up perfectly. And the same thing because I flip them back and forth constantly. So let's get started. Let's do a hydrangea first. And when you're doing that, you can do, let's say, get this going. So we could just do a cluster. The best way to do it is to try to just lay it down and try it to get into some kind of position. What's so nice about this preserving process is that there's still enough moisture in them so that after you get them in the position you want, or you take them out and you might want to flip a bloom over or a petal over just to make it so it presents better. It's really up to you. There's no right or wrong. It's just what's right for you. So smash it down. You don't have to completely smash it down, but you want to have it in the position you feel like is going to present best for your floral album. And then go to your other Perserving board. I popped out another new string, and the first thing you do when you get a new string is tie a knot in it on the end. The reason for that, if you remember in the other video, I want to reference, but if you're new to this video, I just want to kind of do some review as we go, is you wrap it horizontally, put the knot there because it keeps it from, untying, and also helps you do it, get the horizontal look, and also we got the vertical. And then no matter where you're at, you can tie it off. Down to the bottom, there you go, that's it. We're gonna pop it in the microwave, and again, the preserving time for your delicates are 20 seconds the first time, and you're gonna kind of see how they dry and how it presents. And so we want the 20 seconds, but my microwave goes immediately to 30 seconds, and it's kind of hard to stop it right on the 20-second mark. But what I can tell you, there's a big difference in 30 seconds and 20 seconds in the microwave, depending on your flower type. And what's going to happen, like anything you have in the microwave, it's going to burn, and you don't want them to burn. They're still preserved, and you can keep them, but they're not going to look their best, and that's what our goal is. So I do the same thing every time. I unwrap my string, and I always put it to the side. I like to keep organized, and what you can see, I flip it over every single time, and I take it from the top, and I flip it over just like this because I'm impatient and I can't stand and wait to see what it looks like. But I'm gonna flip it like that, and here we go. So that's the back side. So this is the moist side. I'm gonna flip that over because we're trying to remove the moisture from any flower that we're working on. So look at that. That's our first look at this particular hydrangea. I can take this, see this little petal right here? We can actually move that over a little bit. So that's what I was talking about. It may not seem like a big deal, but if you're picky like I am, that just makes more sense to me. So we're gonna pop it back in the microwave. You can see I've done it on this side. What happens with your quick dry paper is the colors might bleed. That's when you have to trade your papers because they'll bleed onto something that's white. Here we go, tie it off. I didn't make it to the bottom. There we go again. So this time I wanna do, I think it's 15 seconds, so here we go. So same drill. This is what we talk about, repetition. Same thing, the same way, and you're gonna have great results. You just It's just being consistent, that's it. So unwrap the string, and then where we go, flip it over. I could flip it to the top. That is my wet side, so I want to dry this because that will be a drier side. It's all about moisture. And then here's the back part of the hydrangea. Don't want to handle the hydrangea because it's still pretty moist. It's pretty flimsy, and you don't want to handle it with your hands because you'll mess up the way it looks. But it's looking really good. I'm going to keep working with this a couple more times. And I may set it to the side and go ahead and work on the lily too, because it doesn't really matter. Once you've set it and you've got it in this position, it's going to dry. It will dry just like that. And you can let it sit there a day or two, a week, whatever. It's going to look just like that same color. And if you get to the end and you don't want to mess with it and it's all dried out, then you could still add your preserving mist at the end and drop it with your diffuser, and it's going to look amazing. So we'll do this one more time, and then I want to use a diffuser. Now I want to put it back in there for 15 seconds. We talked about the preserving time on the hydrangeas and or the delicates, 20, 15, 15, 15, forever. Yep, looks good. So if I want to continue to put it in and do some preserving segments, I don't want to spray it and diffuse it and then put it in there because it ruins your quick dry papers. It's not really necessary, and it just gets really sticky and hard to work with. So, you know, I'm just gonna put this aside. Actually, other than spraying it and diffusing it, it's pretty much done. You don't wanna handle any of your flowers while you're preserving them until you can pick them up and they're dry, because they're gonna move, and the petals might move in a different position, and you'll have to keep messing with it. But you can always rehydrate it and move it back around, so it's never lost. But we're gonna leave this like this. I'm happy with the results. I think they're beautiful. And I want to share with you real quickly, you can do them in clusters when you have a cluster type flower like that, or you can just do one at a time. And I'm just gonna do one for time's sake. You'll kind of get the whole idea. Cut the stem off. So just put it in like this, put it on the bottom, because then you have the stem on top. So you know the drill. We're gonna go ahead and throw the string back on here, put it back in the microwave. Get your horizontal. You wanna match it up pretty nicely, because when you go and tie it off, if you don't have it matched up nicely, you're gonna start mashing it, and you want these they'll last forever. One set will last you your lifetime, and who knows whose lifetime. So dry it off. So again, we're just working with one. And when you're working with a delicate that's really flat like that, you want to try to get as flat as possible. And we talked about in the other video, see how this is closed, this end is closed, this end is closed, and this isn't closed. And you can accomplish that with the string. You just got to cinch it up. Again, 20 seconds. We have 15 on there, so I'm going to go ahead and put 20 back on there. Okay. Again, I keep saying, you know the drill. Same thing, same way, every single time. You're gonna have beautiful results. Here we go, we flip it over. I'm already flipping to see what this one little petal looks like. Voila, isn't it beautiful? And this is the way it's gonna dry. And we're gonna do 15 seconds after that. But with the delicates, they dry pretty quickly, and for time's sake, just know this is what it's gonna look like. We'll eventually put the preserving mist on here and diffuse it, and that's how we're gonna finish it up. And sometimes, because you can pretty much use those, the tweezers on those, and you can see they're bending. You don't want it to bend, you want it to get dry, so that when you pick it up, it's flat, and you don't have to worry about the petals going over each other and then having to reposition it. So that's good. I guess we'll do the greenery real quick. So again, I was talking about every bouquet, you have some kind of greenery, and it's there for a reason. It's an accent, and it's part of the bouquet. If you're preserving the whole bouquet, you want to preserve these too. And they're super easy, again, like I said, and I just zap them in there for maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds is fine. There's hardly any moisture in them, but it's really, you want to position it the way you want to position it, and you have that opportunity. So what I like to do, something like this, who has quite a few leaves, is try to separate them. However, again, there's no right or wrong. This is just what I found seems to work good for me. And then something like that. I think that will look good when I dry it. You can always take it out, and if you don't like the way it's overlapped, then take your tweezers and move them around. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Got your logo up, pay attention, because they won't match up if you don't have your logo in the right spot. Okay, we're gonna do the horizontal thing. Again, you know the drill. I'm gonna throw this in 30 seconds, that's all you're gonna need. And here we go, we have the greenery I talk about in the stems. You wanna save all that. It just adds so much depth, it makes it more 3D, just adds, like I said, it's just a better presentation. So here you go, look at this. So I flipped it over. It's almost dry, look. And really, the same thing, you have your preserving spray, use your diffuser. It's not as imperative because there's just so little moisture in these that you don't have to really worry about it. And 30 seconds on this one might have been a little too long, so I really do start them like at 20 seconds. I don't know why I did 30, but it doesn't hurt it. It still looks good. And you can see if you wanted to add it to your flowers, it's just gonna add a lot of color and pop to it. Okay, now here's where the real magic happens. And we were talking about life gets in the way. So when it does, and you have flowers you want to preserve, what do you do? And so I'm going to help you with that. So just follow me to the freezer. I already took one bulb or one bloom out and I popped it in the freezer, and I want to show you why. When it's like this, they're really hard to mess with. Your fingers get stuck to them, and it's very hard to put them on your quick dry paper. So what I found, if I popped it in the freezer for a few minutes, now look at it. It's got some life back to it. And now I want to position it just a little bit, use my tweezers. What I like about lilies, they're so pretty and they're delicate, and you can actually take a little time. Like I say, you know, you're not going to have the same identical outcome because it's already, you know, went through its life cycle a little bit. But let's see how this looks. Try to do the best to get it in the best position first. So that looks pretty good. Again, we're gonna have 20 seconds in the microwave. And let's see what we got here. But just talk about, it's never too late to preserve your flowers. They go through a life cycle. It's best to catch them right in the beginning of it when they're at their full bloom and they're beautiful, more vibrant. But it's never too late, and you're always going to have that floral keepsake somehow, but don't worry about life getting in the way. So we're going to pop it in, preserving segment for, what is it, 20 seconds. Still delicate. Let's see what we got here. This is what is so exciting, to take something that's so bad and just try to give it a better presentation and hopefully have a longer shelf life. So there's the back side. Remember how we like to flip them over. I'm gonna flip this over. We're just gonna go from the moist side on the quick dry paper to the drier side. So that doesn't look bad, guys. What do you think? I mean, I think it looks pretty good compared to that and maybe ended up in the trash can to looking something like this. So we're gonna drop it in there another 15 seconds, and then I'll throw the diffuser on there. Again, I don't want to use preserving mist until I really think I'm not gonna put it back in the microwave, because not that it hurts it, but it makes the flower very sticky. It messes up your paper. You don't want it on your quick dry paper because you want them to last for many, many bouquets. Okay, so here we go, another 30 seconds. And actually this is on a 15-second preserving time. And so I think we're doing really good. I'm really happy that the freezer worked out for me today and didn't bum out on me. But just remember, when they look like this, pop them in the freezer, 2, 3, 5 minutes. And then they're easier to work with, and just, it's hard to believe that you can actually preserve them and save them, and you're gonna have a beautiful outcome. Not as good, but you know, it is an outcome, and you can save them. So there you go. Let's see what we got here. Flip it over. Again, don't handle your flowers until they're drier and you can use your tweezers, because they're just very hard to mess with. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna zap this on here real quick. Again, when I said wait till you get on top of it before you turn it on, because with these delicates, the bloom, it just moves around and it's gonna get in a position you don't want it. So, see what we got here. You can do it a lot longer, but let's see. We might even be able to pick this up, I don't know. Yeah, kinda, not really. It still needs to have drying time. So what you're gonna do is continue 15 seconds at a time until it's dry. And then even when it's dry, at that point, we'll take the preserving mist, hit it with your diffuser. And I like to hit the diffuser about the 3rd time I bring it out of the microwave. and add that because it just adds to the dehydration, and it helps with that evaporation when you take it out. And that's what we have the process. Dehydration in the microwave, and then we're working with evaporation once we get it out. That's why we have those 10, 15, 20-second intervals. But I'm gonna leave it. I'm happy with that. We can dry it all the way through, but it really doesn't make any sense because you'll just be bored watching me and Barney over here fight. Okay, well, listen guys, if you like what you saw today and you want to learn more about preserving flowers, then go to our channel and click the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. And also you can follow us on Instagram at Floral Preservation Company, that's CO. And that's that, Putty Cat. That's all I've got for today. Just remember, keep preserving flower, people, because I know you'll never regret creating floral memories. And so till next time, see ya.